podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com.
First there was the original.
I thought it might be nice for kids. Keep them off the street, you know.
Then the basic.
This is a simple game.
Then the first version of the advanced.
Good, clean, wholesome fun.
Now the hammer comes down. Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn second edition AD&D podcast ever. And here we are again. THACO's Hammer. You can't stop us. All 2E. We are so good, so good. And I'm here. This is DM Glen, and I'm here with DM Brian.
Hello.
And we're Corey-less this time, so we have DM Julie with us.
Hello.
We got a little, got to get a little estrogen in there once in a while to keep, to balance the opinions and all that kind of stuff.
And Corey's not here to bring it. No, I mean.
Oh.
Ooh, burn.
Sorry, Corey, I couldn't help it. It just
blow.
came out.
Oh. That was a Ric Flair style low blow right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. On the ground gasping.
I'll just give him a Jello shot and he'll forget about it. So,
Just don't put him on the 5th floor. Anyway. All right, that needs to be cut out. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
yeah, watch it get cut out. Uh-huh.
He's embarrassed enough about that. We should not be needling him quite so much, or at least I shouldn't.
Absolutely.
There it is.
Okay, back on topic. Second edition AD&D. Let's go to hits and crits.
What do you feel like doing tonight?
I don't know, Ange. What do you feel like doing?
Oh, we ought to do something. It's Saturday night. I don't want to go bowling like last Saturday. Oh, what do you feel like doing tonight?
I don't know, Ange. What do you feel like doing?
Hits and crits. Hits and crits. Okay, Brian, what'd you do this week?
Okay, this one is
This one is what? Said, what did you do this week?
Oh, I've just been working on characters and trying to get my my deities in some semblance of order. For some reason, I have a really hard creative block on Poseidon because I don't quite like the way he's written, and I'm kind of like taking from the old deities and demigods and the legends and lore and trying to mishmash them together to try to make something a little acceptable.
So you can't pass water.
For some reason.
Maybe Julie.
That would explain why I weigh 260. But anyway,
if that's water, you go see a doctor right now.
Yeah, start taking water pills or something.
Yeah, maybe Julie can help you out with that with Poseidon.
I don't know. My favorite of the Greco-Roman pantheon has always been Hades. And there's a very serious reason for that. I mostly encountered my Greco-Roman mythology when I was in junior high school at a very impressionable, romantic, young girl age. And let's face it, Hades' wife was gone 6 months out of the year and he never cheated on her.
Oh, I see.
I thought you were going to say, well, I could hop in for 6 months.
No. I mean, that was always cool. I mean, Crack of Dawn wasn't safe around Zeus or Poseidon.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I did a chart, my 8th grade mythology class, English class, whatever. I did a big family chart of the Greek and Roman gods. Uh-huh. Zeus had a page of his own. He just was an annex.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was kind of embarrassing.
The original case for sex edition, that's our Zeus.
There you go. Okay, Julie, what's up with you this week? How's the audio going?
I've been writing up a storm because it's Script Frenzy month. So far, since April 1st, or since, morning of April 1st, I've written 6 full scripts, plus a couple of bits and pieces here and there, and actually almost 7 full scripts now that I've done this other adaptation. But, so basically, over 200 pages.
Ooh,
wow.
Yeah. And I've set myself a special goal this week, which is, well, I don't know if it's going to be this week by the time this comes out. I don't know when that is. I never keep track, but because I also might change my mind by then.
Well, we're about 2-3 weeks ahead here. So.
Yeah, it'll be May by the time this comes out, I think.
It'll be all over. Well, this is, in 10 days I wrote 200 pages. I should specify then. But,
what's your secret?
And Brian, this is a challenge to her. I thought she did this all the time.
Oh my goodness.
I save it up. But no, my challenge for myself this week was I pulled 5 random stories off of Project Gutenberg out of old issues of Astound Stories from 1929 and 1930, and I'm going to adapt at least 3 of them this week.
Ooh.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't aim low, do you?
Not at all.
Not when I'm writing.
Wow.
There are times when aiming low comes in handy.
Oh.
Okay, and
Straight to the plumb.
What have I been doing? Okay, fine. No.
Sorry, you got me on the kick. I can't help it.
Wow.
And that would be a spinning, flying roundhouse kick.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to do one now. I'm going to have to do a wusha. I'm going to have to do... anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I swear, it's the only show where the woman is the potty mouth.
We all have potty mouths. We just kind of restrain them. I just don't think Julie can if she could.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I can curse like the proverbial sailor when the situation calls for it.
I believe it. Anyway, what have I...
What did I say? I don't remember I said anything.
What have I been doing? Not a whole lot. I haven't bought any game stuff lately. And, of course, I'm still looking for a game. But I'm going to be starting a Skype game Thursday.
Really?
Yes, it'll be Labyrinth Lord.
Okay.
Labyrinth Lord with the Advanced Edition Companion.
Oh, that's right. You told me. I forgot.
Yes. It's basically Labyrinth Lord is basic and Advanced Edition Companion bumps it up to First Edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a cleric. This is for Crispy. He's going to be running for a couple of sessions. Vince's game is on a bit of a hiatus, so he's going to run a couple of things in Labyrinth Lord. I'm playing a cleric. What is his name? Paddy O'Rockhead. Cleric of a deity I can't think of, but it's out of the Unknown Gods. She's got a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably going to be the most violent person in the party. So
you just love playing those dichotomies. Yeah.
Paddy O'Rockhead, and he's going to be a drunk. He's going to
He sounds like the father at Rock Dame or something in Flintstones.
Thank you. I wasn't the only one.
Yes, that's where I got the last name. Thank you. I'm not going to live that one down. But
don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Someone I grew up with, we called him Joe Rockhead. We still do to this day, even though we're all in our 40s.
The question is, are you going to convince them that your feet are the equivalent of hard high leather boots?
That would be nice. Thank you. I'm going to try that.
Or that you can get the party's equipment cart going just by holding on to it and just use.
Oh, come on! No, it's going to be he's going to have 2 states people see him in, either inebriated or hungover. That's why he's best in a battle when he's hungover. Got a peace? Yes, peace and quiet. Boom, boom, boom. Peace.
Start pounding on them with his mace. Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
You scare me sometimes. I will say that straight up.
Brian, this has gone from I like the way you think to where do you get this stuff? Now it's you scare me. Have I just gone down in your eyes?
No, you're just turning into me.
I'm not afraid of you, little lady.
I don't have breasts.
You should be.
Wow.
Afraid.
Now we're talking about graphic, huh? But anyway.
Pete, you still down there? Good. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. Well, why don't we move on to the emails? We have some emails. Letters.
Where's a fan?
Okay.
I'm feeling the vapors.
Ooh.
The vapors, that's never good.
I didn't pass any guess. Come on.
Wow. Okay.
The beauty of Skype.
Not the mailbag,
yes. This question comes from Joe McJoe. And he says, dig the show, and we thank you for that. He asks, how do you guys create encounters, and do you judge their relative difficulty?
Oh man, if I had that answer to that question, it would make my life so much easier.
Well, in my experience, I usually create encounters for one of two or three reasons. One is just, the party's having little too easy of a time of it getting to wherever, especially when they're going overland, because that's where, at least to me, that's where the majority of encounters should be. A second one is, if I'm feeling a little sadistic, I want to beat them up a little bit, bloody their nose a little bit, just to let them know that just because you guys are this group of 6 or 7 individuals, going somewhere and doing all these wonderful things, that doesn't mean that something can't come out of nowhere and just, bop you on the nose.
It's just a reminder, hey, it's dangerous out there.
Yes. Well, the best example I can think of is when I ran a solo game with my ex-roommate, and she had like 2 characters. I was running like 5 NPCs and all that kind of stuff. Oh, it was a nightmare. But one of the things is that they're going along this road, and to the immediate north are the Elven Woodlands. And in the Elven Woodlands, there are these things, called magic points. There are good ones and bad ones. And usually with the bad ones, monsters just come flying out of them. And so they're just going along down the road, easy as you please, and all of a sudden a fang dragon comes up out of the woods and just jumps on them. But, that's just kind of what I do. It's just, just to remind them that, hey, you guys aren't the fastest guns in town. Remember that.
Right.
The other use for a lot of encounters is, my most recent gaming experience, of course, has been the LARP. And one of the things they love to do is spend the day whittling down everybody's available spells.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Because you make everybody use whatever they can all day long, and and you leave them having to fall back on, good golly, strategy when they fight the big bad.
Yes, very true. And I'm glad to see LARPing hasn't changed since I played it back in 1992.
Well, you was a LARPer?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, there was a nice little LARP group in southern Massachusetts. So me and a bunch of other people, we just pile in the car and drive for an hour and a half to get up there, and we'd spend the day running around and doing all kinds of stuff. It was fun. LARPing's fun.
Well, encounters to me, it's like, aside from the random encounter table, which I usually handle with aplomb, planned encounters I sweat over. I'm still burned over a few early sessions where, like, a party of second levels, and I throw 4 giant spiders at them.
Wow. Yeah, that's a little tough.
Even afterwards, if they all did, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 was good. I thought 4 was better. That's all.
See, I always reserve the right to have any monster just leave. If it looks like the party is getting their butt kicked, I'll give the monster a reason to leave, but I'll walk it away if I need to if it's less important to preserve the encounter than it is to preserve the party.
Yeah, I agree. My whole thing is planned encounters. I basically have a sheet with the characters on them, what they have as far as magic items go, and I plan accordingly. Okay. Usually if the party is fighter heavy, I'll give them a bunch of mooks to beat up on, or, just to busy themselves while, the big bad evil guy in the background does his thing. But, the whole thing is that you've got to take the characters or the PC's level into account, when you're creating an encounter, because it's way too easy as a DM to say, you know what, I'm just going to throw this at them, and if they can't deal with it, too bad.
The other thing... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, the other thing.
if you're writing for your ongoing group, you have an advantage also because you can tailor it to not only the characters, but the players' preferences.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to writing a scenario for, say, conventions or for publication. You know, if you know that your group gets tired after long battles, gets bored of long battles, or like me, falls asleep during long battles, which is really embarrassing.
Attention span much?
No, usually because I'm not playing a fighter character. So I'm sitting, and every 3 hours they go roll a die, and I wake up to roll my initiative, and my initiative is after every other character on the entire world.
Oh, yeah.
And then I go back to sleep until they tell me to roll for my 1d4 damage.
Wow.
It's that kind of thing. So it seems to happen no matter what kind of game I've played. I've done that in Supers. I've done that in Rifts. I don't know. I'd make characters to role play rather than to fight with.
I see.
So, but the point is that, you can tailor it. So if you know that your characters are more likely to, your players are more likely to be engaged by a short fight followed by a hunt, followed by some sort of interaction as opposed to just a plain pitched battle, you can give them what's going to entertain them more.
Right.
That makes sense.
Well, to me, DMing 101 went down really hard with me. In other words, it took me a while to catch on to certain things like, okay, you have to take their level into account. Well, what does that mean? I said, well, you see that little thing on the monster stat that says hit dice?
Mm-hmm.
You compare that with their level. That's how you do it. It took me like a good 3 years to figure that out.
Oh, it's okay. I shudder to think all the mistakes and errors I made playing just basic D&D back in the early 80s, going all the way through first edition.
I'm the kind of guy who skims over stuff. The rules, the stats, it's like, yeah, that's a dragon. That's nice.
Ooh, wouldn't a dragon be fun to fight?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe if they're all 10th level, maybe.
Yeah, but then somebody finally pointed out, you use the hit dice. They only have an 8-sided die. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Multiples of 8. I understand now. I've been in it.
It takes a while, yes. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. But if you do, for instance, present your players with a situation that you have realized belatedly is vastly outside their capability. Like you said, 4 giant spiders for second-level characters. There are ways to scale it back even after the fact. Sometimes that's good to know because you might accidentally have that happen. It's like, oh, you've got 8 bugbears in the room you've just walked into. They turn. You're like, oh, no, Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out that half of them are scarecrows or illusions. Or, you can do that.
I understand.
If you're the GM, you can do that.
And you got to do it with some finesse.
Yeah,
I found out that okay, all of a sudden, why aren't they all hitting us? Why do they keep missing their hits?
They're drunk.
As of right now, yeah.
As a player character, you should never ask that question ever.
Why aren't they hitting us? But he should hit on a 5, and he hit me.
Oh, God, that's the problem. I get them. I'd be like waist deep in a problem like that. I'd try to backtrack, but no. The other guys at the table, they call me.
Yeah,
so wait a minute.
On it.
Yeah, they call me on it. Wait a minute. If his AC is such and such. Well, what is his AC? You don't know. Yeah, but I figured the last couple of times I hit him on a 15, and now I missed him on a 15, and now I roll a 14 and I hit him. What's going on here?
Well, that can lead to some player, disquiet, shall I say.
So that's hard, so that's what I'm saying. It's difficult to do, but if you could do it with finesse, it'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, that's exactly the reason I switched out of fantasy games into, modern day horror many years ago, is because of those players.
Well, I don't understand what genre it'd be. To hit is to hit. To hit is to hit.
True.
No, because in most modern day horror games, you're dealing with things like ghosts, where you have no idea what they're capable of.
Modern day horror. I thought you were talking about you switched over to stuff like Spycraft. Or
No, I went straight to investigative horror.
instead of
Okay. So she went from Conan the Barbarian to the X-Files.
Yeah, something like
pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I understand.
Fair enough.
But here's another point.
Okay.
At the same time, if you throw something at them that's beyond them, isn't that the point where the players are supposed to learn how to
run away?
Run away, yes. Yes.
But whose responsibility is it for me to lower the threat in the middle of combat, or for them to decide, hey, discretion is a better part of valor. Bye.
Okay. This is where it comes where it happens. It's the DM's responsibility to make sure that there aren't encounters that are so far beyond their player's capability that, that there can be a TPK. Me, myself, I don't unlike most people on Dragon's Foot, although I just think people just talk to hear themselves. I don't take a pride in a TPK. I don't.
Total player kill. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Yes. Total player kill. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
And
total party kill, actually.
Party, yes.
Oh,
thank
okay.
you.
Oops.
But yeah, I mean, and there are those who are just like, oh yeah, this is how I did it and all this, and you can hear just the evil chuckling and the wringing of the hands as as he explains it. But the whole thing is the DM's responsibility to make sure that unless the players are going to be very stupid about it, and like I've always said, macho gets you killed, stupid gets you killed. But to create encounters that challenge the players but not overwhelm them, but at the same time, it's the player's responsibility to recognize, hey, we're in over our heads here. Let's get out of here.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of the things that teaches players and DMs alike in Keep on Borderlands. Because there are just some encounters in there that a first level party will get annihilated within 3-4 combat rounds at the most if they go flying in just, dramatic poses and swords glinting in the torchlight and all that kind of crap.
It's true, there's some really tough goblin children in there.
I was thinking more of the bugbears actually. But or the Minotaur for that matter.
Well, that, yeah.
Yeah, that was one that you didn't go back and take care of until your characters were third level.
Yeah.
When they could survive a hit from a Minotaur.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. It is kind of like an equal thing. See, if I ever had TP, I don't take pride in TPKs either.
Mm-hmm.
But if I mention a TPK, it's not like, oh, look how I killed the party. It's like, yeah, let me show you how dangerous this is.
Yep.
It's more like a warning.
Yeah, it's rough out here. Be careful. Yeah. Be smart.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, though, with those GMs who take pride in it, they're lonely GMs.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't get a lot of return players.
Yes, they are.
That is the problem.
They're the ones who go.
Me versus them, unless you have a captive audience like the only other players in the entire town and there's no one else running a game. And that's almost impossible with the internet nowadays. Back in my day, if you play whatever game you can get your hands on.
This is true.
But, there's too many options, and a GM who deliberately sets out to kill the players tends to be a GM who doesn't have any players.
I bet you if you take a poll to all the people who run conventions across the country, they go to the most conventions because they keep having to go to the next one.
Oh yeah.
They keep killing them off. They get mad. They go to the next convention.
I agree with that. And that's one of the things I ran into when we had our little segment on the first segment on cons, where we were talking about all that stuff. There are too many people running games who are just out to get their jollies by killing off PCs. Yeah. And I'm just like, I would much rather take that 4 hours and make it something that people will talk about in a positive way for years. I mean, you
want to scare the pants off them, threaten them, endanger them, and give them. It's like writing a movie. Mm-hmm. You don't want to write. You want to write a movie that entertains the audience and engages them. The players are your audience.
Yep.
You're the director, the writer, everything, and your job isn't to defeat them.
They're the actors.
Your job is to give them the chance, at least a serious chance, to achieve something.
I agree 100%.
My original DM Mark, I guess this is me to Vince's DM Joe, but my DM Mark, he ran a heck of a lot of champions. I know it's hard to kill people in champions, but he also ran a heck of a lot of D&D. Mm-hmm. And he had his same philosophy for both games. He said, it's dangerous out there, and they're powerful, but I'm rooting for the good guys. Mm-hmm. He says, I'm not a killer DM. I want a fair fight, but I really would like you guys to win. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do anything like that, and I want you to win. So he's on our side. Right. Which is what he said. And that's the kind of thing I've always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I try and do in my games.
Right. I try to be, that's the thing. My whole thing is that I try to be neutral about it, but at the same time, I have been guilty sometimes of skewing towards the PCs because because I put them in a situation that I probably shouldn't have. But, that's how I feel about it. It's like, look, it's tough out there. It's dangerous. You may run into something that is stronger than you, can fight better than you, has more powerful magic than you, and it's up to you to realize that and take off and run away if you can. But at the same time, I would like to see you succeed because I want to be able, once the DM's screen is closed, the dice are put away, the books are being put away, and we're all just sitting around, just doing the denouement, if you will. I want to be like, I want to hear that you guys had fun. That's what I'm more concerned about with than anything else. My players enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to be able to shut the book and not have everybody walk up and kick you in the head.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there have been times where I've wanted to just, sucker punch the DM on my way out the door because I'm just like, you bastard.
And one for Jenny and the Whip. Anyway,
we had a GM once who most of the time was totally Monty Hall, and it was like we all knew it. We didn't care. We were just like,
the nightmares. Oh, the nightmares. Sorry. Go ahead.
We were having fun, but when she was in a bad mood, she was in a bad mood. And one day she was supposed to be running a modern day game, and she just didn't want to. But we were all ready, and we had all showed up, and we're like, come on, run the game. And she's like, fine. So we're supposed to take off in a helicopter. She made the person running the helicopter make their helicopter roll, even though there was nothing to make, no reason for it. You know how it is?
To make the roll against. No challenge, no difficulty.
Nothing.
Right.
Blue sky, perfectly running helicopter. He rolled a critical fail. She said, okay, it crashes and burns. Your characters are all dead. That was the end of the game.
When you're in that bad of a mood, you should never, ever DM. Ever.
Yeah, but we were
don't drink and DM.
Don't be pissy in DM.
Folks, don't be pissy in DM. We're dead now. Don't be pissy in DM.
Yes. Yes, we don't want you to wind up like us. Don't. And
the whole party comes back as a public service announcement. This is a public service announcement.
Kind of like all those rock singers in the 80s who drove drunk and slid into a school bus or something. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Anyway, we got another letter?
Let me just make a little quick look. See. No, I'm still on the old one. Give me a moment.
Oh sure.
Okay, I have one this one is from William Fleming. Yes, William Fleming.
Hello, William. Oh, by the way, Joe McJoe, thank you for the last one.
Yes, that was really nice. Yeah, that was a perfect question to ask.
That was juicy. It was meaty and juicy.
Mm-hmm. So we have William Fleming and
William Fleming.
Joe McJoe.
Yeah, Joe McJoe. Well,
not an Iron Beaver, but they can't all be winners.
No, they can't all be Iron Beavers. No.
Anyway.
Okay. He says, I like the show a lot, and thank you. I just wanted to throw this curveball, no pun intended, at you guys. The name of this creature is the Black Ball, and it can be found page 16 of the Mystara Monstrous Compendium.
Not that one, oh no.
I would like to hear your thoughts on the air about it. Okay.
Oh, no, that goes back to the first 3 little books.
Mm-hmm.
There's time immemorial.
Yes. Yes, the black ball. Yes, a living sphere of annihilation, basically. That's basically what it is. It basically just, no one knows where it came from. No one knows what its purpose is. It just basically flies through the world, and whatever gets in its way is destroyed, basically. The picture,
everything.
yeah, exactly. The picture in the Monsters Compendium just basically shows it just flying along, kind of like, the ball from the, oh goodness, I've forgotten, the Phantasm movies. There we go. My memory still works. And it's just flying along, and you see in its wake where it flew through like a statue, and it flew through like a wall or something like that, and you could see like bits and pieces of it, like a piece of it taken out in the shape of the ball. And I'm just like,
I remember
a wee bit cartoony.
mm-hmm.
I remember some of the quote from like the Rule Cyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
It says the ball, gods may control the ball some, but they cannot dominate it.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to get rid of it is either a wish or a teleport to another dimension spell or something. You don't destroy it, you just get rid of it.
Yeah, you just send it somewhere else, and it's someone else's problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. Me personally, I couldn't put something like this in my game unless the characters are like at least like 18th level or something like that, where they have the ability to deal with it, because they can't run up and fight it. Yeah. Swing a sword at it. Okay, sword blade's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get a really big fan and try to deflect it from its course.
That might work.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just a control weather spell, maybe.
I want to see like
swings.
I like to bring one in my game and have a red dragon there. Just look at it and just start running away like a scared dog.
Yes. Yes.
The boss, I see you go through that.
That's what you do when you've accidentally set a red dragon on a party that's not ready for it. You have the black ball show.
Just go up and there you go.
Wow.
I grab it. Funny thing.
Somebody told me that Gygax created this in response to something the players were doing. Probably ones that just got too high level and thought they were invincible or something.
Power gaming, perhaps.
Yeah, power.
What if you held up a bag of holding? Would it go through it or be stuck inside?
I think the operative word for that one, if that happened, boom.
Or that would be one way to get it away into another dimension.
Portable hole.
But the problem is,
would now be a bigger portable hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now this is one good thing. This is one good thing to carry. This is one good reason to carry around a bag of devouring. Here, have a ball.
Can you imagine that? Ooh. If someone was crazy enough to actually try it, I might just give it to him.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they might mate and create a bigger ball.
Can you imagine that?
No.
Now the thing is the size of like a medicine ball as it is. Now it's the size of, let's see, what's big? Yeah, no.
A balloon?
A hot air balloon. Yeah, size of a hot air balloon. How about that?
Yeah, no.
That's huge. And I wouldn't go huge. I'd go, the size of one of those balls that you just sit ups on. Yoga ball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the ones, that's true. Just
man, I toss that down a bag of devouring stuff. Toss it down to the Odiug. No.
Wow. Yeah, dung heap.
Yeah.
And now it's got eyes and can move and can choose its direction.
Oh, it does that anyway. I mean, it's got some innate ability to sense the person with the biggest life force or the thing with the biggest life force
and tries to destroy it. Yeah.
This is why I stand in front of the dragon until it gets close enough and then move out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then discover the dragon has already left.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, dragon's like, I'm out of here. Bye.
Yeah.
Dragon's like,
add-on takes his luggage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like one reason why a dragon would abandon its horde. Yeah, because a black ball showed up.
Yeah. So, well, you know what? I'm probably with you, Brian. This wouldn't happen until they got up to that about 17th, 18th level, if they get that far.
Yeah. When the mage character can actually cast a wish spell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, you'll just have to stick to. No, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
What?
Other colored balls.
Other ball. Thank you.
Blue balls? Huh? Oh, sorry. Oh dear. Okay, now
This
that
is
I did
D&D.
that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, you know what? I just thought of something interesting. If you have high levels like that, what if they came across a dragon horde in a large cavern, and the dragon disappeared, and all there was this ball with all this treasure around it?
Wow.
Okay.
How greedy are you?
Yeah. Because it came in like 10 minutes before the dragon hightailed it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Jeez.
Like, okay, we've got more gold and jewels and gems than you could ever imagine to spend in a lifetime, but you also got this black ball hovering right in the middle of it.
And actually, it's starting to move towards you.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you
What
do?
if it'd be more
Holder!
entertaining? It would be more entertaining to have a ball that just sort of followed you around and like scared off any potential encounters, and you never got an experience.
Oh, what do you want this to be a familiar now?
No, it'd be an
Be like
irritation.
the anti-familiar.
That's true.
Yeah, it wouldn't do anything you asked it to or anything. It would just be there, like 6 feet behind you all the
And it
time.
wouldn't hurt you.
Yeah, just hurt everybody around you. It would make you a
there's
social pariah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be
Wow.
like a dad.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
Not, yeah, we're not evil or anything. No.
No, not at all.
No. Never.
Well, that's what we do with a black ball. And we thank you for sending in that email.
Yes, William.
And I'll not sleep tonight.
Visions of
Because you're
black
thinking
balls
of evil
dancing in
things
his
to
head.
do.
Black balls dancing, yes, in my head. And
I didn't need that image.
you've done enough damage with
Nope.
Julie Holmes, now stop it.
I still want a T-shirt sometime. I want to go to a convention and buy a T-shirt that says, "Sorry, your seduction roll failed."
Ooh.
I bet that exists somewhere.
And on that note,
I've looked.
let's go look in the book.
Yes, let's.
You ever go to school, stupid?
Yeah, and I come out the same way.
Is that your idea of an idea?
It's in the book.
In the book. Hey, Brian, where's my monk?
Well, okay. One of the things that happened in '89 when second edition came out is they got rid of the monk class. Now, yeah, exactly. Boom, 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 boom. But, yeah, they even gave suggestions as to what to make that character. And, of course, this stuck in my craw, so I started actually rewriting the monk class and adapting it for second edition.
Uh-huh.
God, I mean, I'm trying to think of how long I've been working on this thing before I was finally happy with it. At least 10 years. At least.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm something of a perfectionist, so, but anyway, the monk class, I mean, especially with the advent of the martial arts in the Oriental Adventures book, which of course, it just sparked my imagination because, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s and of course Saturday afternoons.
Carradine.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, oh no, not even. I thought he was a poser, to be honest. I mean, yeah, he kicked, but you know what? I think, just as an aside, I think that they made the new Kung Fu TV series as something of an apology because he was kicking a lot more ass in that one. Yeah, because it was just sort of like that whole mystic and that whole, just that whole monk mindset. And just a lot of decent acting, I think. And he only kicked butt when he had to, as opposed to, the new series is to where there's a lot of butt to kick.
As opposed to like Billy Jack.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to take this boot and I'm going to put it on the right side of your head and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I love
Or
it.
his spiritual successor, Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yes. My man Chuck Norris. I idolized that man when I was a kid. I watched every movie that came out. But anyway, getting back to the monk. So yeah, I rewrote the class for second edition. One of the things I did, I remember one of the major rewrites I did for it happened when the Complete Psionics Handbook came out. Because finally, I know you have rather strong opinions on it.
I have issues.
Yes. Don't we all, Glenn? Don't we all?
Yeah.
Glenn has entire subscriptions.
Well played, ma'am. Well played. But anyway, the whole thing is that when the Psionics Handbook came out, it sort of like just the light bulb went off over my head, because finally there was a way to give the monk all these cool powers that they were mostly self-affecting. Sometimes they would affect others, but not very often. But it wasn't automatic. It didn't all of a sudden, it didn't all of a sudden make the monk something overpowered, at least in my viewpoint. Because,
so you're telling me they're psionic?
Yeah, basically. I mean,
okay.
I know that
through discipline and study.
I'll roll with it for now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So between the martial arts and these powers that the monk manifests through meditation and inner reflection, or whatever you want to use.
Navel gazing, yeah.
Navel gazing.
Well, yeah.
Well, if I was a monk, I'd eat the orange. I wouldn't just stare at it. But, oh, wow.
Vitamin C is only good on the inside.
Absolutely.
That's right. But anyway, so I basically just went from level 1 to level 21, and every level the monk got, he got something, whether it was a slight upgrade in his martial art abilities, or if he got a psionic power. Every level they got, he got something that could, he could now do something that he couldn't do before. And I could it's like one of those things where, the PCs, have adventured with this monk for a couple of years, and they've watched him get better in combat and do all these like crazy things, and then all of a sudden, just one day, just this whole other thing happens.
It's the glow. It's
Yes.
the glow.
Yeah.
You are the last dragon.
No.
We should have saved that for Corey in here. Considering what my nickname is, should have saved that.
Oh, wait, so enough?
Yes. Exactly.
No, Renclaw. Yeah, show enough.
Oh.
No, actually, what would happen was the wizard would pull out this meter and point it at him, and go, "Oh my God, his aura's over 1,000,
over 10,000." Oh God. Wow, from Last Dragon to Dragon Ball Z, I'm getting a headache. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, I've rewritten the class, and because I felt I felt that there was a place in second edition for it. I never understood completely why they decided to just do away with it when they adapted first edition.
I always got the feeling that they felt that it was a cultural thing. It was a culture clash, because that was coming, if you're dealing with basically a fantasy medieval setting, a fantasy European medieval setting, having something like that was so outside of anything that happens in the culture you're talking about, that it was awkward trying to explain where these characters came from.
My whole thing is that if, they used, if they went with just a normal, generic, by-the-book setting, I would agree with you. But I mean, with the advent of like Forgotten Realms and of course, looking at Greyhawk, which had the Scarlet Brotherhood, which was an entirely evil monastery, and they hired themselves out as bodyguards and assassins and things like that. There was
true, but a lot of that started coming back in later, didn't it?
Yeah,
The whole idea of taking out the monk was to take it out, and they said, "Well, put it in Oriental Adventures where it belongs."
Yeah, but what if you had a world where you had that? And in the end, I wasn't particularly happy with a couple things about the Oriental Adventures monk either.
They also like Car Tour and Forgotten Realms. Okay.
Yes. Even though, Car Tours go 6,000-7,000 miles away, with Forgotten Realms being such a high magic setting, there were ways around that.
Right.
But go ahead. You were about to say something, Julie?
I was just going to say, if you, as you say, if you had a world that included that, if you're a GM who has a world that included that, then you wrote the world at that time. Back then, so you could just decide to have monks. It's not that hard to do.
No, not at all.
I could decide to have a TV producer as a character in a fantasy world if I really wanted to.
Well, actually, that's been done. That was in that Castle Greyhawk rewrite. Where the party stumbles in on them shooting a movie scene.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I digress. And for the campaign world that I use, Mystara, which actually has the Asian world not too far away from the quote unquote medieval European fantasy setting. It was like maybe a week's journey. Maybe to get to their equivalent of China, and of course my adaptation. There's also the equivalent of Japan in there as well. So, and with the whole thing about Mystara, and we're going to get into this in another show, but it's such a hodgepodge world that you could find something completely different. You start in one place, you journey in one particular direction for say 2 weeks, and you are in somewhere completely and totally different where, the laws and just how things work are basically changed. It's not static. That's one of the major complaint points from some people about Mystara is that it's basically a patchwork quilt.
Yeah. Too many cultures.
One of the problems I've seen in a lot of fantasy worlds is I like a certain amount of logic in cultural stuff, and I know too much to accept some of this bull.
Yeah.
It's way too pat to just say, well, that's just the way it is. It's like, why haven't the guys next door killed them? Because these guys here in this country are doing something that those guys next door considered to be absolutely evil. They would have wiped you out centuries ago.
Yeah.
Perhaps so.
But that's the thing is unless you have a good logical validation for why, you have to think on a global term. Sorry, that's definitely.
Well, you're right. For instance, Mystara's got this. For instance, Mystara's got this one country that's Magocracy.
Alphasia.
Alphasia, and they go to the point of, if you are a priest, they will kill you. If they know you're a priest, they will kill you.
Or is that Glantry?
I don't remember. But then they have this other country that is just the opposite. That is all a theocracy.
Yes.
And they go to that point too. Well, why haven't they had a war?
Yeah, that does explain. That does. Go ahead, Julie. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's just one of those things where, it's so awkward when people do make up stuff in a patchwork fashion. And just, that's something that I'm not going to let happen in my
world.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
actually, someday we should talk about world building, but the one thing I actually avoided building a world. I built a city. The city just happened to travel from world to worlds.
Okay.
That way I could do whatever world I wanted to play in that week, but they always had to come back to the city or they get left behind.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Certainly. Well, as far as Mystara being patchwork and that being a detriment to me, I make it work. Or at least I try to make it work.
It's still fun.
But at the same time, I don't run these campaigns that are so globe spanning and that one action here can have horrible consequences there. I try not to go too far with it because God only knows the way that the whole the political landscape of Mystara right now is that all it takes is like one particular incident, then the whole world is at war, basically. You know, and I just try to avoid that. I just rather have it to be a big ass sandbox for my players to be in. Mm-hmm.
May I digress for a second, just really quickly, and this is not too much of a digression.
Okay.
This is one of those areas where I find it very handy to give the players a local lore role.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your character may have heard something at some point in their lifetime that might help you when it's like, my grandmother used to say that the people here don't like blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's one of those areas where if you've got so many different cultures going on, there's no way to explain them all constantly to your players.
Right.
But the characters may know something, and that's one way to cover that sort of thing. It also covers things like, dragons. It's like, what do I know about dragons? Roll your local lore. You know that you are not equipped to deal with one.
That's more a common sense.
That's about right.
That's a wisdom check to me.
Yeah, it's true. But there's a lot of that sort of thing, where they would know something, and you just haven't told their character that before.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway, we got kind of off point. In fact, I don't even
Sorry.
remember what the point was.
Back to the monk. Yes.
Back to the monk.
I mean, but
on
as
the
far
elephant's
as
drunk.
yeah, drunken style. But anyway,
but we love Jackie Chan.
Yes, we do. The original. But as far as the class, themselves, I've attached them to certain lawful deities. I've attached them to. They could just be like come from one area to. Just to start a temple somewhere else. One of my characters that I ran when I played, he made it to 13th level as a monk, and basically what happened is that once you reach like 12th level as a monk, you have to start challenging others in your monastery to keep advancing in level. Otherwise, you stay stuck at 12th.
Right.
So basically, what happened was that he challenged for 13th level, won it, then he saw that everyone ahead of him was in excellent health, that they basically stayed at the monastery and just did their normal duties to the monastery, and he was going to be waiting 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 years to advance to 14th. So basically he went to the Grand Master and said, I want to go and start a splinter temple in this land. And after the Grand Master stopped looking at him like he was crazy, he asked him why. And basically
it's either that or invest in poison.
Exactly. And since he was lawful good, that wasn't going to happen. But so after he received permission, he journeyed from the Mystaran version of China all the way to where I start 99% of my campaigns, Karamakos. And he went to Threshold, talked to Baron Sherlane there, and got permission to build his temple in the mountains north of town.
Nice.
And so that's where he resides. He's gotten his followers, and now he's starting to get, after his reputation was established, he started to get people coming to the monastery saying, I want to learn. And so now he has a thriving monastery there.
And now you have a ready-made place for player characters to come from.
Exactly.
Now I looked over the stuff that you reworked, and my favorite document bar none has to be the martial arts maneuvers.
Oh yes. We shall get into, unless you want to do it now.
We will get into that in a moment. The new monk. What do you think of it? THACOshammer@gmail.com, 405-806-0555.
And if you want a copy of it, just email us at the show and just ask for a copy, and I'll send it to you. I share all of my material because I'm just not, possessive like that.
And Glenn puts a surcharge on $50. So, no,
payable in gold coins.
There you go.
Preferably in gems. Get the hard currency.
Electrum,
yes. No, then Nick and B broke. No, he'll send you a copy if you like. Just send a word at thacoshaver@gmail.com. Okay, what do we got next? Option package.
Option package.
My personality undergoes a startling change.
You know, you should meet me because I'm a great guy.
I like big fat men like you. When they fall, they make more noise. And sometimes they never get up.
Option package.
We have option package, the complete Ninja's Handbook, a splat book I know nothing about. Tell me about it, Brian.
Okay.
We are ahead. There's nothing to see.
I am the wind.
You have a bush. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, I am the wind. You don't know I'm there until it's too late. But anyway, Ninja's Handbook, TSR.
Oh, silent but deadly.
Oh, wait, no. Let's not even go there. Something else completely.
It's like the wind, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the stinking cloud spell. You're forgetting things. But
everybody has that ability.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's not special.
After
Ninja's Handbook.
Yes, Ninja's Handbook, created by Aaron Alston. This is TSR 2155. I want to say this is one of the last splat books they made. I think there's only like one or two more they made after this, but as it says in the acknowledgments, many elements were taken from Oriental Adventures designed by Zeb Cook, the man who I worship constantly. I love that man.
Just I do, Alston.
Yes, the man who basically single-handedly created Second Edition. But basically, the ninja class in Oriental Adventures was so difficult to run that, it was in some ways almost impossible. The only
ninjas are more afraid of you than you are of them.
Not hardly.
Sorry, I keep quoting the Tick. Nobody gets it. It's okay.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that after the show. But anyway.
Spoon!
Oh boy. You're distracting me, lady. But, okay. Like I said, the class was hard to play because basically it was sort of like you were doing a multi-class. You had to take one Oriental class, say like for lack of argument's sake, say the Bushi, the generic fighter with a couple of things. But you had this second life as a ninja. And, basically whatever experience points you got as a ninja went towards that class. I mean, it was completely split. It was hard to run. I mean, trust me, I ran a 13th level, I had a character who was a 13th level assassin. And basically in the adventure he was in, he got betrayed by his guild master because he was afraid of him, and basically just was left for dead somewhere. And basically he was taken in by a ninja clan, and he started as a ninja. Basically it's like he advanced like 9th level as a ninja before the game stopped. But basically Aaron Alston, to his eternal credit, got rid of all that. He basically makes the ninja its own standalone class. My whole thing is that it's just a little too close to a regular thief. There should be a couple of things to differentiate it between a ninja and a thief, just not the esoteric stuff like, always dressed in black, nobody knows his identity and stuff. That's just role-playing elements. There should be a couple of meaty little things to kind of differentiate. But that's just me.
Well, I've always seen... Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's interesting that the way they talk about the ninja, it's almost like he turned into the 1E bard.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alston reworked him into the 2E bard.
Yes. Yeah, that's basically what he was like.
Anyway, go ahead.
But yes.
So what were we going to say, Julie?
I was going to say, the problem I've always seen with ninjas is, and I'm not necessarily specifically talking about in this system, is the same problem that I've always had with assassins, which is they don't play well with others all the time, and it makes it very hard for people to play on a regular basis. It seems really cool. Yeah. It seems like it's going to be the most awesome idea, and then you realize that you have absolutely no motivation to be part of a party.
Yeah, well, but that also, that could be, well, that never was an issue with me because there should always be, at the very least, a cover for the ninja. Or because they'll say he's this and he's working that way with a party, but also there's like these things on the side that only the DM and the player know about. See, the problem with that is that, yeah, that can also lead into, inter-party conflict, if and when, and it almost always does, if they find out, that, wait a minute, our fighter is a ninja. He's been going around and assassinating people in these towns that we stay in, but then there's that difficulty.
And he hasn't been giving us part of the money?
Yeah. yeah, some people would be more upset about that. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of just, the DM has to take like one extra step forward, with that and say, okay, your character's secretly a ninja. No one knows about it. No one should know about it, because if they find out that your identity's been compromised, they will kill you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, they will, but basically, most of, as I was saying, I just lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's alright, it's alright. But basically, like I said, the ninja's sort of kind of like a jazzed up thief, in a way. My whole thing is that I would like to do a couple of things. This has been on my back burner for years. I've been wanting to do something to kind of make it a little bit, just move it a little more towards the 1E ninja, because the 1E ninja got, really cool abilities, that were part of the class, but no one, but of course, they were just things that made him better than a regular thief.
Right.
Yeah. But that's just me.
Yeah, we know about you.
Yeah. But there are tons of kits in this book. There are, they have kits, not so much kits, but yeah, you could call them kits. Basically, they have kits that kind of give ninja abilities to the other classes, like the shinobi fighter, or the shinobi ranger, or the shinobi mage. And it basically takes those classes and say, okay, here's this. Like, they give them just a couple of special abilities so they could be hired muscle for the ninja clan, or the resident mages and things like that. It does add a little bit more in that way,
I can understand. What?
I'm sorry, I'm a terrible punster, and if you want more than that, you should be playing that character.
I'm glad you weren't around for episode 7. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because the puns about trains were just flying left and right
out of his mouth.
Yeah. Me who is bad at puns. That's fun. That's just the weird.
So what kind of?
You never want my brother on this show.
No.
So what kind of? What should I say? What kind of spells they got in that book? Anything?
Okay. Yeah, they've got quite a few. Let me just get right to it there, because I was still in the thing. But of course, these bookmarks are all messed up. While I look for that, let me just skip back, go ahead to how they redid, the martial arts. Because the one thing about, the martial arts in first edition is that, you could attempt things, like say you could do like a flying kick at your opponent, and if you miss, nothing bad would happen. You just basically go sailing by and things like that. In this,
what was that?
Oh, that's just my dinner trying to mess with me. Basically,
give it a roundhouse kick.
Yeah, well,
that's not the right way to get it out.
I'd be spending the next 15 minutes in the bathroom. Yeah, kneeling at the altar of Elger, the porcelain god. But anyway, as I was saying, with the martial arts,
Go, just talk.
Okay. With the martial arts in this book, they gave consequences to almost every single maneuver. That if you tried it, there was a chance this bad thing might happen to you. Like say, it basically giving consequences, because that was the one thing about it that just made martial arts kind of overpowered, in my opinion. Is that, you could do these things, you try to do these things, but if you failed, nothing bad would happen.
It may be something that you would only ever succeed on an absolute natural 20, but you could try it.
Yeah,
and you could try it over and over and over again and never,
Right. But with these, like I said, there are consequences. Like with the flying kick, if you attack an opponent and you miss, now of course the flying kick's hard to set up. You need like a 5-foot running start in order just to get up off the ground and try to kick him in the head. But the penalty
scissor him
was
in the neck and then punch him in the head 50 times. Sorry, I've seen those movies.
Yeah.
I love these movies.
So do I. But if the attack roll fails, basically you fall to the ground next to your intended victim, and you have to spend one combat round getting back to your feet. Which of course, the enemy's like, haha, your kung fu is weak, and he starts attacking you right there.
What if you could do like that goofy back leap, that whoop up onto your feet thing?
Oh, yes, the instant stand. If you have that, that's not a problem. It's not a big deal, but if you don't, then you kind of screw yourself.
Probably.
You just start rolling and hope that there's like a rack of beer that you can pull down on him.
Right, yeah, something. Jeez. Yeah, you are pulling out Drunken Master, aren't you? But like I've said, that was the one thing that I liked a lot, is the fact that it clearly defined what happened if you tried something and you botched it. It wasn't just something that you had to either make up on the fly and say, oh, you just missed him, it's okay. Next one.
Right. So,
getting back to the spells, if I can find them, because the bookmarks in this PDF are really bad. They basically from what I'm going off memory basically, but most of them are to help the ninja to conceal himself, to get him, to basically create something to make him, to get him to have him escape and things like that.
We are a hedge.
Yes. Which is funny because, I'm just thinking of a video game I used to play. It was basically a golf game, and one of the characters was like a character, and if she made a bogey, she would like pull like this cloth over her, which was like a tree, and then she would look out from under to see if anyone was looking, and then she'd be like, oh, and then she'd hide under it again. God. Yeah, ninjas. But
they're wacky.
Yes. Wacky ninja goodness. That's what I like. But, I'm trying to find the spells and I can't, and I don't know why. But as I said,
because they're hidden by a ninja.
Yeah. Okay, I found them. Sorry.
Woo.
It took me a minute, but I found them. But, they have like...
Power is strong within you.
Mm-hmm. Here's one. First level spell, an illusion spell called Face Blur. And basically all that does, and of course all I think about is when the spell's cast, the ninja's face gets pixelated.
Oh,
it's like somebody on Cops.
Yeah. Exactly. And basically it alters his features slightly, making them unremarkable. So I think, and basically what it is that it just makes somebody look like everybody else, has him blend in. And if
he
someone
looked like, I don't know, he was kind of funny looking in a general sort of way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see, got things like lesser distraction, when it's sort of like the old cantrip where, you can make them like a faint noise in like another way, or like have
the
something.
beholder go, what was that?
Yeah, exactly. But or have them like see something.
Yeah.
But
those are all handy.
Yeah, but so it's let's see. The victim who does not say versus spell believes the sight or sound to originate from a direction of the spellcaster's choice, which of course puts all of his attention in that direction, which is good. So this could be used like to set up a backstab.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Let's hear a girlish giggle. Hey, I heard a girl.
There's a girl somewhere. Yeah, well,
Did you see where she was?
Yeah. A lecherous samurai, maybe? But anyway.
Most guards aren't going to be distracted by a lecherous samurai.
Well, who knows? No, I'm saying he's a lecherous samurai looking for a girl, and all of a sudden, there's a girl over there, and all of a sudden he gets backstabbed, and that's the end of him.
There's a girl over there. Wait, that's a face blur. It's a guy.
I can't tell. He's face-plated.
Yeah, exactly. God. Oh, all the jokes I could make, and I can't because this is a family show. But anyway. There's another spell called Detect the Living, which is sort of like a reverse of the Detect Undead spell. Which allows the ninja to, look, on a path that's like 10 by 60, 10 wide, 60 long, and, you can look for living beings in the direction he's facing, which is actually nice. There
are 5 men hidden behind those posts.
Yes, that would be a perfect little scouting spell. Ninja would cast that spell, and you'd just be like, oh, there's one over there, there's one over there. But it's like I said, these are spells that pretty much enhance the ninja's abilities. Ooh, improved mirror image, which I forgot about.
Even more than enhance, I think they actually simulate the abilities that we see in the movies.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
that's the thing is in the movies, they're just there because the writer put them there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you watch the Kung Fu movies, but for the purposes of D&D, you can't just have those because that's kind of skewed.
Yeah, because it goes against game mechanics.
Yeah, so making them a power to be achieved in a similar manner to everyone else's abilities makes them functional.
Yes, I agree. That works that's a better explanation than what I could have gotten.
So what about?
Sorry.
That's all right. What about some of the fluff, like how to play a ninja, how to play this, that kind of stuff?
They're
advice
things. They have a bunch of different things in one of the chapters, basically it's called Ninja in the Outer World, which means basically going wherever, exploring new lands, performing missions, and things like that. And basically, it has like several rules to kind of keep the ninja's identity. The first one, don't impress people, which means never reveal your skills.
Right.
Never talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
Right.
You do not talk about Fight Club. Oh boy. But anyway, so you always try to get your people to underestimate you in some way.
I'm drunk all the time.
No, that's Glen's cleric. But anyway, but basically it says like if you're a really experienced ninja, play like a green warrior. One of the things, there was a movie I saw, and I can't remember the name of it. It was with Christopher Lambert. And he was in Japan, and basically he got attacked by ninjas, and it was near the end of the movie, and he had he got himself in the middle of this fight between this with this like throwback samurai guy and this ninja, and one of the things
there could be only one?
No, it wasn't Highlander. Trust me, I'd know that right off. But basically what happened was that they went to the ninja stronghold, and the first person to greet them was this very obsequious ninja, and called himself some generic Japanese name that I can't think of. And
hi, I'm Yo.
Yeah, and basically he was really, really deferential to the samurai, and of course, watching the movie, you knew this was the leader of the ninjas, but he was trying to play it off, and he was
pulling a Yoda.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't work for him.
Grammar have I not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you would recommend this book?
Oh yeah. This is, if you want, even though I don't agree with them reducing martial arts the martial arts damage as far as they have, but that's just me.
It's balance, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose, but to me, at least to my thing, there was nothing wrong with the way it was, but that's just me.
Right.
But yeah, I would recommend it because it gives really good insight into the character, getting into the proper mindset of a character, how to play one correctly without letting your players or even your players know, your fellow players know that you are one of these, and has a nice good little crunch for for a ninja campaign and things like that. They even have something about basically taking a ninja class and turning it on its head and being like James Bond, like a government agent kind of thing.
Nice.
It's things like that. It has nice little pieces of advice in. But yeah, I would recommend it.
Well, that's good. Good. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Anybody out there use it? Anybody out there use it in a either Oriental or non-Oriental campaign? Let us know. THACOshammer@gmail.com. 405-806-0555. And now we are going into people skills.
The face is familiar. It's mine. And so it is.
Oh, yes, of course. It stands out a mile, doesn't it? He's so common.
The little lady comes in here and starts throwing her butt around. What is that supposed to do?
All right, forget I said anything.
Maybe I will.
Well, that's pretty good.
Then don't tell me you weren't looking at it.
Well, that's not half bad.
She's giving it right back to you.
People skills. People skills. Brian, you have something up your sleeve you want to tell us about, a special class you created.
Oh, yes. 25 years in the making, and I'm finally happy with it.
3 weeks in the playing. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've had plenty of play testing, thank goodness. But this was something that I found in an old first edition supplement, The Complete Adventurer by Borrowed Games. I always give them credit because they deserve it. Of course, as I've said, being a child of the 70s and 80s and watching Kung Fu Theater every Saturday, looking at this book and seeing the martial artist class just completely just sent my imagination to overdrive. Basically, it's like I said earlier when we're talking about the monk, I wanted to create a class that was more fighter-based instead of it being, with the monk being sort of priest-based. And so basically I took the fighter class and I just started taking some things away and adding some other things, and I came up with the martial artist. And it's had several rewrites over the decades, I can say now, and but I'm happy with it now.
Okay, well, what do you have for, say, prime requisites?
For the martial arts class, the prime requisites are strength and dexterity.
Okay, and they have to be, 14 or more? Or?
Well, the bare minimum for the class is a strength of 12 and a dex of 15.
Okay.
And to get your 10% bonus, they, of course, have to be 16 or better.
Right.
Both scores. So, humans, elves, and half-elves can be of this class. Because I never saw any reason for them not to be, although it would just sort of have to be like a half-elf finds himself in the care of a martial arts master and learns or something like that.
True.
Because I don't mix all of my campaign metaphors that much.
Cool.
They fight as fighters. Their saving throws are as thieves. They have 1d8 hit dice until 9th level, which enables them pretty much to survive in combat, pretty well.
That's good. That's good.
As fighters, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they can use any weapon as a fighter can, and but their bread and butter, so to speak, is their unarmed combat.
Okay. Advantages, limitations.
Advantages, like I said, they reside in the martial arts. As I use martial arts fighting styles, which give 1 or 2 attacks per round, or 3 in some cases. Martial arts get 1 extra attack above and beyond it. Now, that doesn't mean if you have a style that gives you 1 attack per round that you get 2 attacks. No, it goes in stages, just like with weapon proficiencies and specialization. 1 attack per round becomes 3 every 2 then it goes to 2-1, then 5-2, then 3.
Gotcha.
So, The main disadvantage that martial art has is they cannot wear armor at all.
Yeah, it goes back to the monk.
Mm-hmm. And, but also they get bonuses in melee combat to counteract that. And also, the better part is that they have the ability to actually block incoming melee attacks. It's basically a class skill.
Well, I was going to say, I was wondering if they had anything like that kind of thing, like hands of stone or feet of stone or something like that. Where they
that comes along with their fighting style later. They can move silently and hide in shadows as a thief of equal level. At 4th level, they start getting armor class bonuses when they're in melee combat, not when they're being shot at by missiles. But it goes up, it's like a +1 at 4th level, and every 4 levels it goes up another +1.
What do you think about things like backstab and surprise attacks? I mean, it seems like if your armor class bonus comes from your defensiveness, then if it's something you can't really logically defend against, you shouldn't count. We had this argument many times.
Yeah, well,
when the groups I used to play.
Well, at least for me, when I run backstabs, if the person who's trying to do it makes the proper attempt and skill rolls, I will have his target make a surprise roll, and if he fails it, then he'll get backstabbed. And of course that bonus, that melee armor class bonus, would not carry over because the martial artist would have to be aware of it. He has to be aware of the attack coming, or at least to know that there's somebody behind him. He'd have to have some knowledge for that bonus to come into play.
Yes, that's always been my argument.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you don't automatically defend. Your back does not dodge.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unless you're running like a barbarian who has like a skill specifically called back protection.
Yeah.
But
do you you've had these played in your campaigns?
Yes, I've had players play test them and run them. 2 of the best role players I've ever played with, my ex-roommate and my ex-fiance, they both have martial artist characters, and their characters have been really, really successful. They have enough combat ability to keep right in lockstep with most fighters, but they have to think a little bit when it comes to what they decide to engage because they don't have the armor that the fighter has. So, and on top of that, usually, if they do get involved toe-to-toe with something fairly nasty, their ability to block or evade incoming melee attacks more or less saves their bacon. It's, it all comes down to, the luck of the die, really.
True. True. I didn't know if he could get a bonus to armor class or something because he's like, say he has an 18 dex and.
Oh yeah, he gets the dex bonus. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So his AC would go down there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wouldn't start. He wouldn't start.
It sounds like a fun class. Actually, I'd play something like that. That sounds fun.
I'm always looking for more input. If you want, if and when I get by all means.
Yeah, sure. As long as I can get to play a Wuxia style.
Wuxia.
I was waiting for that. I see Wuxia, I say Wuxia. But either way, if I can't jump at least 15 feet in the air, I'm not going to be happy.
Hey, you have that ability at 1st level. Cool. You get, as a bonus, you get the jumping proficiency to start with.
Cool.
And that's an ability well, of course. And of course that goes up in ability as your character goes up in level. That reflects.
Of course, at 1st level, you can just jump straight up and come back down. You can't actually jump onto things. You have to wait till you get 3rd level.
Yeah.
It's just good for intimidating monsters and popping up and seeing what's around. I'm going to jump up so I can look over the hedge. Boing!
Yeah, I could jump 3 stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you find out that hedge was a ninja. You got a problem.
Watch this. I jumped 3 stories. The tavern's only 2 stories.
Yeah.
What? Oh!
Yes.
Yes. That sounds like a fun class. I'd like to try it.
Well, I put enough time into it. I hope that if and when you play it, that you enjoy it. That's all I care about.
What do you guys think? THACOsHammer@gmail.com. Or if you want a copy of this, right? They can get it through THACOsHammer@gmail.com.
Or, you can, send an email to the show and say, just basically say that you want a copy. Just make sure that you have your own email address included so that I know where to send it. I mean,
I've had stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I've had several people from Dragon's Foot PM, send me a PM asking about it when, the conversation was up, and I sent it to them, and I'd say probably about 8 out of 10 liked it. So I guess I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Cool, because those other 2 people won't like anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
or they'll just or they'll do what one of my former players did: take the class and just completely, or just change a couple words here and there and profess it as his own.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, let's
gotta love plagiarism, right?
Oh, love it.
But please to call it research.
Miss Holmes. Let us walk over into Rule 0.
Yes.
One would think you've been doing this all your life.
We'll remember you said that.
I know. I'm sure you hate me just enough.
Rule 0.
Rule 0, another Brian thing, martial arts fighting styles. I've been waiting for this one.
It's all Brian all the time, baby.
Yes.
It's my world, you're just paying rent. That's right.
Now, we've got this wonderful document here of martial arts fighting styles that outline, all sorts of good stuff. Tell us about it.
Well, basically,
just like Monkey, Tiger, Crane, Drunken Master.
Yes, I have most.
Okay,
I don't have a drunken style. I've always wanted to try a drunken style, but I can't quite make it work. That's the problem. But yes, I took. Basically, there were like 3 issues of Dragon Magazine which had martial arts styles in them, and of course, I was like. At the time, of course, even way before I had a computer, I was I was like going back and forth between the 3 books, and I'm just like, I'm going to destroy my books at this rate, so I'm going to write these down. So I did. And then another issue of Dragon came out where this man called Len Carpenter, and one of the best sources about martial arts, that I've ever seen, he created a ton of these things. I mean, there were at least, I want to say, at least 25 styles that he came up with on his own. Because in the Oriental Adventures book, they only have like 4. They had karate, kung fu, jujitsu, and taekwondo. Just those 4. The more popular styles that people would know just by saying the word.
They know how to pronounce.
Yes, exactly. And this guy just took the system, did a little reworking of it, just a little tweaking, and then he came out with all these styles. He came out with animal-based styles. He came out with styles that ninjas would use, and he would have like a little description of each one. So what I did, and also as I played and run the class throughout the years, several of my players basically wanted to create their own styles, and I, of course, allowed them to, as long as they didn't try to go overboard with it. Because, Len actually came up with a system where the more damage in combat your style inflicted, the fewer martial arts abilities that you would have.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a complete trade-off. Like, there's this one style called Eye of the Hurricane. It's a very soft style. It's like 1 attack per round at 1 to 4 damage, for the attack, but they got a buttload of special maneuvers. I mean, a ton. And, but on the other end, then you had something like Tiger style, which was like, 2 attacks around at 1 to 8 damage each, but like maybe like 6 maneuvers, if that.
Okay.
And how you learn those maneuvers is basically how you gain proficiencies. You take a proficiency slot when your character gets them, and just basically say through practice, out of, like, in the old martial arts movies, you see them practicing a certain maneuver or something like that. And after a certain amount of time, they actually get it. It's like, oh, this is how I do it. And then it becomes something that the character can use.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That sounds
That's always fun. As a slight digression.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the movie Spooky Encounters?
No.
No.
Because it ends with a fabulous fight between Sammo Hung and another guy. And there's two Taoist priests, the bad guy and the good guy, and Sammo's with the good guy. And the priests are imbuing them with different martial arts styles to fight each other.
Right.
And so they're basically possessing them with the tiger and the monkey and the this and that. And and so each one keeps switching up their style. It's a really fabulous fight sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's Spooky Encounters, yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that because I'm always into looking at those kind of martial arts movies. There was as a supplement to that, there was an old wuxia movie from the 70s that actually did something like that at the end, where the hero goes up against the bad guy who like killed his family or something like that. I can't remember, but as they're fighting, the hero keeps switching up styles on him because the bad guy's style is so strong he can't use one style to beat him. And so he like goes through like 6 or 7 different styles, and every time he switched up, he would either like, okay, here's my snake style, and then he would fight a certain way, then he would go and he would fight another way, and the bad guy would be like, oh, that's dragon style, that's good. And it was, it's just fun like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as the styles go, I mean, I think I have at least 40 styles in total in this style document that I made. A lot of them, thank you, I appreciate it. Most of them I took from martial arts movies. A couple of them I made up on my own. And I mean, it was just a lot of fun to do it. Basically, I'd just take like one of the old wuxia movies and just watch it from beginning to end, and then I would be like, okay, circle kick, flying kick, back kick, crushing blow, locking block, things like that. Just write it down, then I would just do the rest of it after I finished watching the movie.
Wow.
So, but yeah, these were fun to make. I have to admit.
Oh, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
And one other note on Spooky Encounters that's the movie they give. The Taoist monks, whoever has the taller altar has more power, so they got like a crank altar that keeps getting taller. Like on a big old sprig, crankety.
See,
well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, see, that was where I was when I started doing that stuff, and of course I'm heavily into Street Fighter at the time when I was making a lot of these styles, and then now I'm just like, you know what, that's where I'm going to have to start going into like a martial arts psionicist mix, because, for like a character like
you gotta do something with the Taoists,
Yeah, exactly, the ones whose limbs extend like 30 feet, and hit just as hard as if you're standing right in front of them, stuff like that. I had to kind of draw the line.
Peasant magic.
Exactly. Yeah.
This document is so juicy.
Oh, thank you.
It reminds me of when I was playing Champions.
Yes.
Ninja Hero came out.
Yes.
Which is a supplement for Champions. And, you had Champions martial arts, where you had basic moves and stuff, call it whatever you want. Well, they broke it down.
Oh, yeah.
They broke it down into so many different, okay, here's the basic moves, and this package right here is Kung Fu. This package right over here is karate. This package over here is Taekwondo. And they had like 12 of them. And it's like, oh man, this is so cool. They even had one called Commando Training, which was like an amalgamation of like the best of.
Yeah, basically, I have one like that. Someone sent it to me years ago. It's called Combatives, and basically, it was like the special forces martial arts, that you see in some of the like the movies.
What they show the SEALs and all that.
Yes, exactly. And he even said in the description that this is a style that would be taught to like, elite palace guards and things like that. You know, they would know that. So that if there was someone tried to attack his leader or his king or whatever, he would have these guys as his last line of defense, basically.
Yeah. If I was writing up James Bond, that's what I would give him.
Yes.
Yeah,
with some extra maneuvers on top of that.
Yeah.
One of the things I did when I was doing when I was like compiling all these maneuvers and stuff, and there are some that I created myself, I might add, but we can get into that another time. I took from I looked at GURPS martial arts and ninjas and super spies, and I think I actually looked at Ninja Hero for a while. Yeah, there was a time where my gaming group we heavily got into oh god, now I forgot the name of it, Palladium. We got into Palladium stuff for a while. So yeah, I was looking at that.
Ninja Turtles.
Yes, and all of that stuff. Yeah, and not the watered down cartoon, the ultraviolet comic book versions. Yeah. Let's make that distinction.
Before they were color coded?
Yes.
Before they were color coded. Before they're colored.
Yes, all black and white, baby. All black.
Yeah, but on the covers they were all wearing red.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. You digress.
But yes, I do. Well, yeah, big surprise, right? So yeah, I mean, when I did most of these martial arts, I tried to do them as logically as possible. And I think for the most part, taking away the ones that I just added in from the Dragon magazines, I think they succeeded pretty much. Basically it's when it comes down to it, it's game mechanics. It's it does this much damage. You do this, or you can do that, or you can't do this. But it's more about how it looks when you do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's about the
Flash.
Yes. When it comes to martial arts, definitely the Flash.
Oh yeah.
And it's all about when you're fighting somebody who fights bear style is radically different, just how they look and how they move than someone who knows, say, the cat style.
That's true.
And
you'd counter in different ways too. Different styles would be more susceptible to other styles.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sorry. I watch way too many of these movies.
Tell me, using them in your group, has it really changed the dynamic of combat?
No. I mean, what it comes down to is basically player character common sense, and basically, it's basically the hard and fast rule is if you didn't want to touch it with your bare hand in a comradely manner, you don't want to punch it. You don't want to go up against something like a white and try to fight it with martial arts, because you'll end up being a baby white before long.
Yeah.
Because you'll have all your life force drained. So, the martial arts
or a gelatinous cube.
Yes. Oh no, green.
That is closing in fast.
A green slime. Yes. Yeah, you don't want to try to karate chop green slime. That's a very bad idea.
That's when you karate chop the ceiling.
That's only if you have martial arts supremacy, then you can chop a battleship in half. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting into Marvel superheroes now. My apologies.
You knock yourself some rocks loose from the ceiling so you can walk across the slime.
Ugh, yeah. Good luck with that. Then of course it just goes up over the rocks and starts eating your feet. Then what? But anyway.
You run really fast.
How can you do that? Your feet are now green slime. Hopefully you can run on your hands really fast because your feet don't exist anymore. But anyway, but as I was saying,
you guys.
Yeah, I know. She brings out the worst in me, I swear.
Oh, I'm so pleased.
Yes, I'm sure you are. So yeah, I mean, these martial arts styles, they're easy to create because there's a system for it. You can create really exciting fighting styles that aren't overpowered, that have their disadvantages as well. Basically, the more damage you do, the fewer abilities you get, and the higher your base armor class is.
Okay.
So it's it starts at 8, goes down to 5, I think. Yeah, 5's
nice.
The limit. And it just juxtaposes. It's the more esoteric the style, the more abilities you get, the lower your armor class is, but you can't inflict that much damage in combat. It all depends on what kind of style you actually want to make.
Good. Okay, that is really, really cool. Once again, THACOshammer@gmail.com if you want a copy of this. I think it's the bee's.
What? The bee's knees.
Yes, the bee's knees. I think it's great. I'm going to.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely, the lobster's dress shirt.
Absolutely.
I don't want.
Can you say absolutely really sexy, Julie?
Oh God.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Way to go.
All right, and our number is 405-806-0555. If you want to talk to us, dragonsfoot.org, of course, and Purple Worm. Let's go to our last section, Loaded for Bear.
Bet you don't have a pair of these, Earthling.
And for the big critters, sometimes you got to bring out the nuclear weaponry.
Loaded for Bear.
Loaded for Bear. And, of course, martial arts weapons.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Martial arts weapons. Basically, it's what you think. It's the sai, the nunchucks.
The katanas.
No, not katanas. No.
Right,
the katanas are, in second edition, katanas are powerful enough.
Okay. Samurai swords, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, basically, the martial arts weapons are basically those weapons you can perform certain maneuvers with. Like, if your character has the locking block special maneuver, which basically is like, your character's being attacked, you basically just grab, if you're fighting hand to hand, you're basically grabbing the wrists and locking them so the opponent can't get free.
Okay.
It's the same thing with weapons. If you're being attacked with a sword and you have, like, say, a 3-section staff, one of my favorite weapons, mind you. Basically, you take it and you maneuver it around so that the sword gets locked into place and the opponent has to, like, take an action in order to free it. And with sai, which are the dagger-like things with the tines coming off either side of them. Those things are good for blocking.
Raphael's weapons.
Yes. Very, very good. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. No, you're not a turtle fan.
Turtles.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not a turtle fan, no.
You know what? Okay. Don't get me started. I can do the whole Partners in Crime song.
That's okay.
From memory.
I'm not going to get you started, okay?
Oh, yeah, we need another 3 minutes of this.
Yeah. But,
so, martial arts weapons you will find where? Second edition.
You can find them in the Complete Ninja's Handbook. They're in there, but also they are in Combat and Tactics, one of the player's option books. That's my favorite, mind you.
Okay, I thought they might have been the Arms and Equipment Guide, but
some of them, if I'm going strictly off memory, I think only a couple of them are. I don't think a lot of them are. But usually they're it's like I said, bow staff, 3-section staff, nunchucks, sai, jites, which are basically like sais, except they only have like one tine. Those are good for catching and breaking swords and things like that if you have that maneuver. And usually, anything you can basically think of from the, like martial arts movies, like, let's just put it this way, like Enter the Dragon, which is the consummate martial arts movie.
Right.
Basically in the dungeon scene, you see Bruce Lee use, Joe sticks, which are those, like 2-foot-long sticks he had in his hands. He used the nunchucks, and used a weapons display to confuse the living hell out of his last opponent. He used a bow staff.
I like the spears with all the fluffy stuff on it to confuse you.
Yes. Yeah, those would be regular spears, but, you can use them for certain, maneuvers, sure, like, pull trip and things like that.
Piercing mirrors.
Yeah, that too. Yes, stapling your enemy onto one. Yes. I knew what you were getting at, Julie. I got you. But yes, so like I said, these these weapons, they do pretty decent damage for the most part. Like nunchucks are like 1 to 6. Most of the ones that are blunt weapons are usually like 1 to 6 or 1 to 4, something like that.
Right.
But it's not the damage they can do; it's the abilities you can do with them that make the difference. And I think that these weapons actually can add another dimension to a martial arts character. You know, I mean, once especially they have the maneuvers to pull them off, so to speak.
What about the really unusual things like the bladed fan and the dart and the needles? I love the needles.
Oh yeah, they have those. You know, they have the needles. I mean, they don't do a lot of damage in combat, but
but it's poison.
Yeah, they're poisoned. Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 to be poisoned. They actually do have the fan in there. I think it's the Gunsen, they call it. You know, the Japanese version of it's the Gunsen, which is basically a metal war fan. But and yeah, those things would be good for, you know, blocking attacks and so forth. Oh, I just got a Gyar Kung Fu flashback. I'm sorry. You actually know what that is? Okay. No. Okay.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Martial arts video game from like 1984, and one of the opponents was Fan, and she would just like throw fans at you all over the place. But I got a flashback. But yeah, arcade junkie me, no. But yeah, most of the weapons you can think of are in there. And you know, they usually give a little description as to, you know, not only what they do in combat, but also the special moves you can use with them.
Cool. Would you restrict these weapons to Oriental characters, Oriental Adventures type characters, or could like just Joe Fighter say, "Oh, that side looks cool. Let me take that."
They're similar enough to the Western weapons, but they're used in like completely different ways. So I would say they could use them, but only if they found somebody to train them with them.
Okay, fair enough. I just thought it was just amused, like some barbarian taking the nunchucks, and all he does is use it to pop people on the head. He takes one and he's like, boom, boom. These aren't hard to use. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
it's just like a flail, but you can throw either end. You can hit it with either end.
Yep. Yeah, and then of course he runs into, you know, runs into Jet Li, who starts whipping them all around his body, like, you know, like, huh? I can't do. How do you do that? Then he tries to do that and he knocks himself out.
Where'd you get that?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty for dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he winds up on his back because he's gotten whopped in the head like 6 times before he could even blink. Yeah.
Yeah. Leg sweep.
Sweep the. Sorry, that's roll for initiative. I'm sorry. I was about to say sweep the leg.
I actually constructed myself some unusual weapons for a LARP, which I did for a LARP.
Oh, really?
I have a hat that's bladed around the edges. It's basically a big flat cushion.
Oh, she's Odd Job.
It's like rattan cover. Well, it kind of came from a couple of different movies, but not Odd Job. It's a flat hat, and it attaches onto a base where I wear, but I pull it off, and it's just this flat pillow. But it's, you know, got little silver around the edges to show blades, and I can smack people with it or throw it.
Ooh, nice.
Like a big freaking frisbee of rattan. Yep. Not rattan, but you know.
Okay, here's a question.
But let me finish. I also made myself 8 bracelets of silver that have silver spikes, and they're totally just cushions. I mean, they're like soft sculpture bracelets with spikes.
Right. Oh, like
but I can also throw them or smack people with them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They kick ass. They look really awesome.
Hey, in the equipment section.
Yes.
I don't have the books with me. So do they have the yo-yos?
You know what?
The yo-yo. I always thought that was the coolest weapon outside of a boomerang.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty I want to say yes, but I'm not completely sure. The only time I've ever seen that actually used was in the R.A. Salvatore books, the Cleric Quintet. The main character used them. Yes.
Wow. I'm sure that. Well, I see him in martial arts films every once in a while. The guy with the big old yo-yos.
You mean like the big one with like the big ball, like in Kill Bill?
Yeah, that too. I mean, we can smack.
Either that or the flying guillotine.
Oh God! I saw that. I love that movie. That's one of my favorites.
But that could be what you're thinking of. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he's thinking of, like the flying guillotine. It was basically this ball-shaped thing, but it had a blade going right around the middle, and it was attached to like either a rope or a chain, and the person would throw it at somebody, then he'd be able to pull it back. You know,
and it would grab their head and take it off.
One of my favorite martial arts weapons I saw, and this may be standard, I don't know, it was a movie called Savior of the Soul.
Okay.
And it was kind of a weird, give me the word again, wuxia? Wuxia movie about assassins, and somebody tried to kill this woman assassin, the other assassin loves her and tries to defend her, blah, blah. He goes through all these things. At one point he pulls out this long blade like a katana.
Mm-hmm.
Only it's made out of like aluminum or something. It goes, you know, it flexes.
Oh, yeah, the blade flexes. Yes, I've seen.
Yeah,
it.
what are those?
Those, you know, I think that's just more how the sword would be made. I didn't see much special about it. I mean, he was using it on the guy who was cutting him all to crap. Right. It just it's the blade. The metal is so flexible it can't be broken. That's the only thing I could probably say it would be different.
But he'd go after him with this thing, and he just like cuts all over his face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nothing lethal.
That's just 6 attacks per round.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking maybe that's just for Flash too. I mean, you go in with something else for the kill because all he's doing is giving him like flesh wounds.
Yeah.
Pretty
much. Flesh wound. I'm sorry. Oh God, I did that.
Absolutely.
Oh darn.
Sneaks up on you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Every time I see that, every time I hear flesh wound, that's where my mind goes. And I can't. And yes, I'm committing sacrilege, but I can't stand Monty Python either.
Oh, you what?
Yes, you heard me.
Get off the show right now.
All right, you can't fire me. I quit. There.
Good night, Brian. No, anyway.
Fight your kneecaps off.
Anyway.
Come back and fight like a man.
Martial arts weapons, how do you use them? How do you use them in your campaign? How do you use them with NPCs or whatever? THACOShammer@gmail.com, 405-806-0555. You know what? I never mentioned this. We have T-shirts. You know that?
Absolutely.
Yes, and so say that on the front.
Yes. But, go ahead.
THACOShammer.info and look at the T-shirt there and buy one.
But not one that says your seduction roll fails.
You can have that made, actually.
And once again, we've reached another end to the show.
Aww.
I'm sure we just went through the Kung Fu Theater, and what the hell why did I just say goodbye? I can't talk to him.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Brian, you've been a font of information. Thank you. Remember, folks, THACOShammer@gmail.com. If you want all this stuff, we'll send it to you.
Yes.
Brian will.
Yes, I will.
So say goodnight, Brian.
Good night, Brian.
How about you, Julie? You gonna say goodbye?
Goodbye, but you die.
Your lips weren't moving in sync with your...
It is a special talent. I have.
Now she sounds like Speed Racer.
Oh my God.
I totally have to write an episode like this. I've already done a badly dubbed Italian film in one of my episodes. Now I have to do it.
Oh.
Badly dubbed.
Anyway, thank you, Julie, for being here again, and me, I'm Glen. I'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye. You die too. THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find him on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at THACOShammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at THACOShammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. Also, you'll find us on the second edition forum at dragonsfoot.org, or you can give us a call and leave a message at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.